So with fall camp starting up, there is a ton of excitement around the Texas Longhorns right now, and look, deservedly so. Whenever we really look at the offseason Texas had, there's a lot of justified excitement for the Longhorns and curiosity as to what the Longhorns could be this year. Whenever we look at their transfer portal acquisitions, Quinn Ewers headlines the class as the prodigal son returning home, but he is not the only player to be excited about. And even further than that, Texas is coming off of a stellar recruiting class. But today, they need to be excited about the recruiting class that's to come because the Texas Longhorns get a huge addition in their 2023 recruiting class, able to keep one of the top players in all of high school football home in four-star linebacker Darion Galette. Today, we need to break down what this means for the Texas Longhorns, why I think this is such a big win, and everything in between. But before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I need to hear from you. Hop down to the comments. Y for yes, N for no. Are you excited that Darion Galette chooses the Texas Longhorns? And let me know what you're thinking. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it, and if you enjoyed the content, like and comment down below. But having said all that, let's jump right into this, and we'll start with what Darion Galette brings to the table. And there's a lot to talk about, but the thing that really stood out to me was his versatility. This is someone who in high school was utilized all over that defense, whether they had him coming off the edge, whether they had him as a more typical inside linebacker dropping into coverage. They asked him to do pretty much everything. And anytime I'm watching linebackers, I love that. I love whenever I'm watching a linebacker's film and I see him in coverage not once, not twice, but several times. Because at the next level, you are going to be asked to cover, and so having some experience is only going to help you make that transition a little bit easier because you have some baseline understanding of how to do so successfully. At the high school level, to be able to understand that you have a certain area, don't get too caught up if someone is going near it. Stay home, do your job. You're going to be successful so long as everybody else is doing their job. You love to see it. That's going to be something that translates to the next level. And the other thing I think that's going to translate to the next level, we've already lightly hit on, is his versatility. We've talked about his coverage skills, but make no mistake, he is a thumper in the run, and he is going to hit you and make his presence felt. Another thing I love about linebackers, if they have that tone-setting ability at the point of contact, something he absolutely brings to the table. And whenever we really look at how this could affect the Texas Longhorns, that's the conversation we need to have now. Because Texas is coming off of the heels of a stellar recruiting class, and even though a few days ago they didn't get legacy Colton Vasek, who is in Austin, Texas, as he committed to the Oklahoma Sooners, at the end of the day, when you look at the edge class you were able to sign last year, even though that's still a position of need, it's not the end of the world when you miss on a target, especially when you have so many edge battles out in front of you, and you win one such as this one. Yes, that edge position is a huge position in PK's defense, and Texas was able to identify that and get several key pieces last cycle, but it's important to maintain that depth. It's important to maintain and continue getting the guys that you think are going to be successful within that system. But from top to bottom, Texas is putting together a really nice class, and whenever we really look at it, I don't think too many people question what Texas is going to do offensively outside the offensive line, which is a fair question, but Texas also did a ton to be able to address that. Now, they're freshmen. We know that the offensive line position is one of the most difficult position, if not the most difficult position in football to transition from because of the massive difference in size, strength, technique, speed, and understanding to be successful at the collegiate level. But nonetheless, they got dudes on that last offensive line class. And like I said, even though Texas has done a lot to address those positions on the offensive line, the season still must be played and the results still must be shown. But because of that, if you're questioning anything outside of Texas's offensive line offensively, I think you're asking the wrong questions. Because everywhere else, I think they're going to be really, really good. Yes, the quarterback position is going to be something new, but at the end of the day, I think they have a supreme confidence in whoever they're going to trot out there. To me, the questions on Texas, if you're not questioning the offensive line, it's going to be that defense. What strides can they make? And you already know that's something that the Texas coaching staff is cognizant of because they bring in defensive guru Gary Patterson, who's one of the best in the business at identifying talent and understanding how to put them in successful positions. I mean, he is truly elite at putting together defenses. So now you're looking at a situation where PK is coming into year 2 at the Texas Longhorns. Gary Patterson is now on staff, and the Texas offense has few questions outside that offensive line, if any. Personally, I don't think there are any questions on that Texas offense outside the offensive line. But it's additions like this with Galette that help answer some of those questions defensively. I understand he won't be on campus for another year, but we're not talking about the Texas Longhorns in just a 1-year sample size being 2022 to 2023. What Sark and them are trying to build is lasting and will be far-reaching past 2022 to 2023. And so the foundation must continue to be laid, but these recruiting wins are building the foundation for something lasting, and that is what I think is a supreme win for the Texas Longhorns. I really can't wait to hear from Texas fans. I think this is a fantastic addition as you get one of the best players in all of high school football. Darion Galette comes in as a top 150 player in the nation, a top 20 edge, and a top 30 player in the state of Texas, a state that is loaded with talent. I can't wait to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, let me know what you're thinking about this addition, and that's it. We'll see you.